Alright, disclaimer, this is not an educational video. This is a stupid, dumb experiment that I wanted to try so you don't have to. Let's get into it. So I was tidying up the house the other day and I came across something that I haven't seen in about 10 years. This is a really old Toshiba laptop that we used to have. Now this thing has the most industrial design I've ever seen on a laptop. It came with Windows Vista and probably has the smallest trackpad that I've ever seen. Its keyboard is incredibly tactile though and has a lot of key travel. Surprisingly as well, it also comes with what I think is a fingerprint scanner underneath the trackpad. This thing has more ports than I can even name. It has a VGA, multiple USB ports, Ethernet, DVD player. So I wanted to see if it would run. I plugged it in, pressed the power button, and sure enough, after a very long boot up, it did turn on. I think although it came with Windows Vista, it was then running Windows XP. Again, after a very long time, it was still booting up. This thing took about 20 minutes just to boot up. And here we are. Now this is a really nostalgic experience for me. I haven't seen this background or even used Windows XP in such a long time. This thing is still running Microsoft 2007 and it's incredibly laggy. So I did what any normal person would do and decided to install Windows 10 onto this laptop. So I went onto my own computer and downloaded Windows 10 onto a USB drive. I then plugged the USB drive into this Toshiba laptop. This time when I booted it on, I kept on pressing the escape key to enter the BIOS or BIOS, however you pronounce it. This takes me essentially to the laptop system setup where I can reboot it from a USB drive. I make sure that the priority is USB, so when it boots up next time, it boots up from my USB. Again, this took quite a while. So eventually we do get to Windows setup and you go through the usual stuff. And what I did is I deleted the drive currently on my laptop to get rid of everything that was currently on it. And then I clicked install. Now this took a very long time to install, so I'm just going to skip this through. Now after you install it, you take out the USB and reboot it. I made the mistake of rebooting it again with the USB still in place, and so I actually ended up having to go through the whole installation process twice. Hopefully it should bring up the Windows 10 logo like it did. And then it brings up Cortana.
Almost done now. We just need to get a few more things polished up for you, and Windows will be all yours.
And now actually setting up Windows 10 also took an incredibly long amount of time, and just seeing that high logo, just honestly, it just was such a relief. Guys, here we are in Windows 10 on this ancient laptop. To be honest, it is not easy to use. It's really laggy, but I'm not surprised. If you look at the system information, this thing is running an Intel Core 2 Duo CPU. I haven't even heard of this CPU before, so that really does show its age, or mine. But what's even more surprising that I didn't expect is that this thing is running 3 GB of RAM. My phone has more RAM than this laptop. Now I had a problem setting up Wi-Fi on this thing. I couldn't set it up. I even troubleshooted it, but it didn't work. I ended up having to just put an Ethernet cable. Now I wanted to try doing some browsing, so I went into YouTube, just test out if I could even play a video on this thing, if the speakers were actually working. And just even going into YouTube just took forever. It just took so long to load up. This is not something that you could just use as a daily driver. It was a really poor experience. But we did it. We've got YouTube playing, and honestly I didn't care how long it took. This was just an achievement. So what I wanted to try next was how far can I push this laptop? So I thought to myself, well, what better way than to try and downloading Fortnite on it? So I went up to Epic Games and I didn't click on it. I mean guys, come on, I wasn't actually going to download Fortnite. This thing wouldn't even be able to play it. There's no point wasting my time or your time trying to get this thing to work. What I did though is play a very light kids game online, and it managed to do that okay. So it is usable in that sense. It did take a bit of a while to load, but as you can see, it's not a graphically intense game in any kind of way, but it does play, it does work. That's the point. Next, what I wanted to do is test out that fingerprint scanner. So I went into the settings and I actually tried to set it up. It was possible. Now this is a weird fingerprint scanner where you don't press it, you actually have to swipe down. So I did, and I set it up and it actually worked. I signed out and tried it, and there you go. I managed to log in. Now my laptop doesn't even have a fingerprint scanner. So this was actually really surprising. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Long story short, did it work? Yes. Should you do it? Definitely not. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Like usual, comment down below, tell me what you think, and I'll see you on the next TK Tech video.